Hi, it's Katie Horner, founder of theblogconnection.com, but some call me the movement maker. I live in Campeche, Mexico, and when I am not on the road traveling to speak, you can usually find me working on my next book or course or coaching someone virtually from the front room coffee shop of our restored colonial home, Hacienda Casa Rosal. Unless you think life has always been this enjoyable, let me tell you. Since I was a teen, I dreamed of having a life of impact, of having a ministry in another country, but I never dreamed that I would be leading a movement or training other movement leaders. 4 years after we married, my husband and I and our daughter moved to Mexico to do volunteer mission work. And 4 years later, after enduring postpartum depression, 2 ministry changes, dishonesty, ostracization, and slander from the very leaders we had emulated, we found ourselves 5 days drive south of the border with 4 children, no ministry to speak of at the moment, and our last $5 in the bank. We didn't even have enough funds to get back to the U.S. if we'd wanted to go. We had never felt so alone, so abandoned, and hopeless as we did in those few weeks. It was the darkest days of our life, but it was a turning point. If you have been blessed to not experience this, I hope you never do. We were the lowest we'd been in our entire lives. It was our crisis moment. We could decide to give up, or we could get up. It was time to either throw in the towel or roll up our sleeves and get busy. Through a series of events, and in spite of incredible opposition from those who thought missionaries should never work for money, we started a homeschool company called lemonhouse.com. And I distinctly remember the conversation that I had with my husband Tap one day when we were up to our ears in child training, homeschooling our own kids, and bootstrapping the development of this new product. "We can do this, Katie," he said. And I looked him straight in the eyes, and I teared up a bit, and I said, "I know we can, and when we do, when we get to where we are making a consistent income from this, and it's supporting us, I want to teach other women how to find the same freedom that comes with earning through sharing their message online." My message has always been that your message matters. You have an important message to share, and if you don't share it, someone else's life is not going to be changed. You may not touch everyone in the world, but wouldn't one life be worth it? And what if someone you touch ends up touching everyone in the world? When we turn our message into a mission, we multiply our impact. Think of the great number of Spanish-speaking families around the world who would not be discipling their children right now, pouring into them to make them the leaders they need to be for the next generation if it hadn't been for us starting lemonhouse.com curriculum company. Think of the number of families, adults and children, who are redefining their definition of happiness, challenging their view of stuff forever, and determining to lighten up and choose joy with less because my client Brenda created a 31-day downsizing course. Think of the difference that freelance writing is making for so many who are taking my client Betsy's course. They now have extra money in their budget and more opportunities to enjoy destinations and create lasting memories with their children and grandchildren. Think of the pressures relieved and the freedom being experienced by generational impact of couples in my client Danielle's budgeting course, who are learning to live within their means, get out of debt, and live an abundant and generous lifestyle, and pass that on to their children and the next generation. These are just 3 examples of Blog Connection members, women just like you, who have turned their message into a mission to change the world, and they're doing it. Did they instinctively know how to create a course? No, not at the beginning. Did they know how to make videos and upload media files and hook up payment processors? No, not at the beginning. And did they know how to market their message or their course? Not at the beginning. But the one thing they did know, someone needed their message. And they stepped up to give it in a way that multiplied their time and their effectiveness and their reach. You can talk to one person, a conversation, and it could change their life. You could talk to a crowded room, and you could change a few lives. Or you could create a course to teach your message. And through the power of the internet, you can change thousands and thousands of lives. I don't care if you use our Blog Connection trainings or the Course Creation Masterclass or something created by someone else entirely. The important thing is that you make the decision today that you will multiply your impact. You're an expert. You know way more than the folks who always ask you those same questions over and over again. There may be others teaching your similar message, but don't let that stop you. I can guarantee you that they are not teaching it from the same background or the same training and life experiences that you are teaching it from. There may even be a lot of people teaching a similar message, but your message is still needed because you are going to reach people that others will never reach. Your teaching style and your communication is going to resonate with some people who would never connect to those other teachers. Your message matters. So how do you begin to create a course and multiply the reach of your message? Well, in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 5 things that you must do before you create a course. And don't worry about trying to write these down, okay? I'm going to have a download button below this video so that you can download the notes and not have to worry about taking notes. Just listen as we go through these next 5 things that you need to do or to know before you create a course. The first thing to do before you create a course is to research. You need to talk to potential students. You need to find out what their struggles are. What obstacles do they need to overcome? What solutions are they seeking? And when you do, take special note of their language because that's what you can use to market your course to them. How are they expressing their problems or the solutions that they're seeking? Use those words back to them when you're sharing that you have a solution to their problem. So research is the number one thing to do before you create a course. The second thing to do before you create a course is to define your outcome. What results are they going to get at the end of this course? How is their life going to be different as a result of taking your course and implementing what you teach? What transformation are they going to have at the end of this? What is the goal of this course that will multiply your time and your message? You need to define that so that both you and the student understand what the outcome is going to be. The third thing to do before you create a course is to set a measurement. How will you or your students know that they have been successful in reaching that outcome? Are you going to have homework assignments? Are there projects to be completed? Is there accountability or check-ins or quizzes or tests? What is the proof that they will have to show that they have reached the desired outcome, that they have reached that solution or that transformation that is the desired outcome? So number 3 is to set a measurement. The fourth thing that you need to do before you create a course is to choose your format. There are many ways that you can deliver a course. It could be by email, by video, audio files, live, even text messages these days. It could be pre-recorded. It could be on your site. You might want to use a hosting site like Teachable.com rather than putting it on your own website. You may not have a website, and so one of those course hosting sites is a good option for that. You need to decide if it's going to be DIY. Will they do it themselves? Do-it-yourself courses, DIY, or will they do it with you? Are you going to have a live component of the class where you offer some sort of personal support or ongoing support, a Facebook group, or coaching of some kind? Deciding on the format in advance is going to help you design your course more effectively to help those people get that solution that they're seeking. And the fifth thing you need to do before you create a course is to set a timeline. We all know that goals are just dreams unless you put a date on it. And so you want to set a timeline. When will your course be finished? When will you do it all? Are you going to get everything created in advance? Or are you going to do something like a beta course where you create it as you go, working with those first few students who go through the course the very first time? Are you going to do it with a group? and release the content as you go, answering their questions? Or how will you launch and promote your course? What dates? When is the classes going to take place? All of these 5 things are going to be very important as you prepare for creating your missional course. And again, those 5 things that you need to do is number 1, research. Number 2, define your outcomes. Number 3, set a measurement. Number 4, choose a format. And number 5, set your timeline. Can I get really vulnerable with you right now? There are 1 or 2 of you who are watching this video who are thinking, Katie, that sounds really good, but you sound like you have a powerful story, and you sound like you're really smart, but how can I start a movement? I mean, isn't that just for people like Martin Luther King or Mother Teresa or Steve Jobs or something? And I'll tell you that the answer is most likely not. And I'll tell you why. Because you have a message, but you don't have a mission. You are not serious about it. And the reason I know that you're not serious about it is that you don't have a blog yet. Or maybe you have a blog, but you haven't been consistently getting your message out there. You don't have a course to multiply your impact. And because you don't have those 2 things, I know that you're not really sold out to your message. You're not really sold out to this mission that could change people's lives. Yet. And that could change today. But statistically speaking, if there are 50 people watching this video right now, for most of you, it's not going to change. Why do you think there are very few movements in the world? It's because there's not a lot of people sold out to their message to the point that they will put their message out there and put a course together to multiply their impact with that message. But for 1 of you, 2 of you today, that could change. If you created a course, who would it be for? And what result would you teach them? Leave a comment below and share your course idea. Remember, nobody else can teach it just like you can. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can get your message out with consistency, how you can create a course, and how you can start to build a movement. All of those folks who criticized us way back at the beginning for building a business as missionaries, they are now seeing that the ministry opportunities we have as a result of our business have expanded from hyper-local to worldwide reach because we have a business. The same thing can happen for you. If you have a message and you are missional, I promise that you have a movement waiting to happen. I look forward to reading about your missional course idea below, and I'll see you in the next video.